You are compromising the integrity of the people back here who have shown up. And they want you to stand solid for this state, for the people, for humanity.
Well, some heated discussion last night at Coeur d'Alene City Council meeting. The theme of that discussion, reject American Rescue Plan funding. Good evening and thank you for joining us for Creme News at 6. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. So a lot of people spoke out at that meeting last night, urging the council not to accept millions more in American Rescue Plan Act funds. They said if the council accepts that money, then they might then be subjected to federal mask and vaccine mandates.
Creme News' Ian Smay spoke with a government law expert. He joins us live in the newsroom tonight to explain if taxpayers in Coeur d'Alene have anything to worry about. Ian?
The Coeur d'Alene City Council voted 5-1 to accept a total of about $4.2 million more in American Rescue Plan Act funds. The people speaking against it last night said they were worried the city would be subjected to forced mask and vaccine mandates from the federal government if they accept the money, or be forced to pay it back if they didn't follow those rules. According to a University of Idaho law professor, it isn't that simple. Those speaking at the Coeur d'Alene City Council meeting on Tuesday night were passionate at times.
They want you to stand solid for this state, for the people, for humanity.
ARPA is about equity, not equal opportunity, but equitable outcome. That's Executive Order 13985, which is socialism, and when it coupled with tyranny is called communism.
Their goal? Convince the council to vote against accepting $4.2 million more in American Rescue Plan, or ARPA, funds. The total the city has received with the new ARPA funds and those received last year total $8.6 million. Those who spoke out raised concerns that if accepted, the federal government could force the city of Coeur d'Alene to implement mask and vaccine requirements for its residents. If not, they feared the city would be on the hook to pay it back. According to University of Idaho law professor Richard Seaman, it's not a black and white issue.
You've got a 250-page federal law enacted by Congress, so there are lots of strings attached, a lot of fine print.
Seaman said the usage of the funds can't violate the point of the act, which is to limit and mitigate the impact of COVID-19. If a city or other entity were to use ARPA funds in a way that goes against this, the IRS or U.S. Treasury could find this in violation of the act.
I think the official position right now is just that local governments that receive these funds cannot prohibit mask mandates and vaccine mandates in any program that's supported by the funds.
Some of the major plans for the money are to make up for revenue lost during the pandemic and to expand the city's police station. Other infrastructure and equipment upgrades are also planned, and nothing in the city council's agenda item mentions mask or vaccine rules. Even if Coeur d'Alene doesn't implement a mask or vaccine requirement of its own, Seaman said Coeur d'Alene taxpayers shouldn't lose sleep.
The simple failure to have mandates, whether it's masks or vaccines, should not get a local government into trouble with the federal government if it accepts these funds.
Seaman did say there is a lot open to interpretation when it comes to these funds, especially if an audit is ordered on their use. But for now, assuming the city of Coeur d'Alene doesn't use them to ban or limit things such as masks or vaccines, they should be in the clear. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, Creme 2 News.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. In the meantime, the city of Spokane has received millions in ARPA funding so far. The city council is actually still in the process of distributing most of that money. The city has received more than $81 million, though, so far. The council voted in January to approve the use of $14 million of its funds. Now, $6 million of that is for affordable housing. Another $2 million is to assist first-time homebuyers with their down payments. $300,000 is given out for rental assistance as part of that same resolution. Spokane County also still taking feedback on how to use its $101 million in ARPA funds.
Tomorrow is the second anniversary of the first case of COVID-19 in the U.S. And 2 years in, we're still seeing high daily case numbers as the Omicron variant rages across the inland Northwest. 526 new cases were reported today. We're not seeing those numbers in this graphic. 154 people are hospitalized right now. That's according to the Spokane Regional Health District. That's an addition of one new hospitalization since yesterday. Meantime, in North Idaho, 264 new cases were reported today. According to the Panhandle Health District, 91 people are currently hospitalized with the virus. And we do want to clarify, the Panhandle Health District accidentally posted the wrong number of hospitalizations yesterday. They've now corrected that data, so 91 is the correct number for today. Well, looking for free at-home COVID tests? The state could soon send one directly to you.
So the Washington State Department of Health just recently announced during today's media briefing that they're now launching a new state portal to order free rapid at-home antigen test kits. KREM 2's Cody Proctor tuned in to that briefing today. She has more now on what you need to know.
The announcement came one day after the federal government kicked off their at-home COVID test ordering website early. So this gives Washingtonians another source for getting an at-home test. DOH says they'll give each household one kit with 4 to 5 tests in each kit. The department ordered 3.5 million tests for the program and expects to help about 350,000 households across the state in the first week.
However, those tests are coming into us over several weeks, and the portal is dependent on our supply. So while supply chains are improving, they are still strained, and when we are low or out of stock temporarily, you will not be able to order a test.
Once ordered, the test kit is expected to arrive in 1 to 2 weeks. An exact start date for the portal hasn't been set yet, but DOH expects it'll be in the next few days. Now, this announcement comes at a time when getting a test, whether it's an at-home rapid test or PCR test, has been very difficult. Recently, the Meade School District canceled sports practices and games after running out of COVID tests for students. They'd been waiting for a COVID test shipment since December 10th, even offering to go over to Olympia to pick them up and getting a state representative involved to see if they could pick up tests. They finally did get those tests this week, meeting a DOH employee in Moses Lake. And I asked the Department of Health about the delay of tests for Meade. They told me they're aware of the request from the school district. They say there were multiple factors for the delays, including supply shortages, right as Omicron surged and testing demand increased, and winter storms that closed off the passes and caused flooding. The department says they've improved their shipping methods, including adding staff to their warehouse and having limited will call pickup. However, the key word is limited, saying they don't want people showing up at the warehouse since it's not a normal spot for giving out tests. Instead, they want to use their own shipping process to get tests to schools. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
All right, Cody, thank you very much. And the federal government is also giving you free at-home COVID tests plus new N95 face masks. The White House launched its free COVID test website today after a soft launch yesterday, so you'll be able to get 4 free COVID tests per household. All you have to do is go to covidtests.gov to sign up. The White House also announced they're releasing 400 million N95 masks from the national stockpile. So here's how you can get a couple of those. Those masks will be available at pharmacies and community health centers, and there will be a limit of 3 per person. But if you would like a link to get the free COVID tests or where you might find those free N95 masks, just text us the word free to 509-448-2000. We'll send all that info right to your phone.
The state of Washington wants to know if you're seeing price gouging for at-home COVID test kits. Attorney General Bob Ferguson says they have received reports of people paying upwards of $70 per test. So if you see any business price gouging tests, the state's AG office wants you to report it. Take a photo or screenshot of the prices and what business it is, and then file a complaint on the AG's website. That address is right there you can see it on our website which is krem.com.
Well, Wilbur-Creston School District will be closed. Both schools will be closed tomorrow and Friday. The districts both say it's just because of a high number of staff illnesses. Extracurricular activities, practices, and games, though, will continue as normal. Also, as a side note, Reardon and Coeur d'Alene school districts also on remote learning all week because of COVID. So if you would like a full list of schools that have canceled or school events that may have been rescheduled or canceled, just text the word closed to 509-448-2000, and again, we'll send that list to your phone.
Eastern Washington is following suit with Gonzaga by discontinuing concessions at sporting events. It'll suspend all food and beverage services effective immediately. Fans will not be permitted to bring food or outside drink inside the facilities either. The university did not say when they could resume concessions. We'll keep you posted on that one. In the meantime, let's take a quick break from the headlines to talk weather. Felt more like we were in Seattle today, or perhaps the Oregon coast. We just had a gloomy gray day out here, right?
Very, very much so. And it's been kind of like that for a lot of days. days, lots of fog and gray skies. So meteorologist Tom Sherry is joining us to let us know when we might see a break in the clouds.
Yeah, we may see a break in the clouds this weekend, but this is pretty typical January weather. We get a ridge of high pressure across us, and then we have that air sinking, and it's just hard to burn off the fog at the surface levels. Head to the mountains, though. Usually you can break out in the sunshine. We have a weather disturbance moving in late tonight and tomorrow. That's why there's a winter weather advisory in effect north of Spokane and east of Spokane. That area shaded in blue. That's in effect through noontime tomorrow. Should mostly be rain for us here in Spokane. We're still above freezing. You can see the current temperatures at 34 degrees. Rain is now beginning to move into the west side of the state, seeing some light snow falling up in the Okanagan Highlands, a little east of the Tenasket area, but down around Brewster, we're seeing some of that. Our wet weather moves in tonight and could be a little rain snow mix overnight, then changing to rain tomorrow with a daytime high of 41 degrees and the overnight low only dropping down to 33. Mostly dry weather Friday and Saturday. Saturday, partly cloudy and 39. So yeah, we may get a glimpse of the sun. We'll have the rest of your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
I'm now gonna go knock on some doors. Wish me luck.
Well, it is the #1 show on Netflix. Tonight we sit down with one of the producers of Archive 81, who turns out is from right here in Spokane.
Also a little later, if you leave your at-home COVID test in your mailbox, it may not work. We'll let you know why. That's coming up a little later in our broadcast.